Okay, with that, let's bring in our panel. Fox News political analyst Guy Benson, Democratic campaign consultant Kevin Walling, and Politico White House bureau chief Dasha Burns. Okay, Dasha, what are you hearing?
Look, there are two pieces to this, right? And I heard you try to get at this with the senator. There's the operation itself, which the administration, in terms of policy, feels was well executed. And I think a lot of people can agree with that. And they felt that the messaging around that could be great because, look, you can say we're not doing regime change here. We were executing a law enforcement operation. The second part, though, is the president coming out and saying we are running Venezuela now. And that is where behind the scenes I'm hearing a lot of concern from Republicans. They want to give the president some time and space to answer the question of what exactly that means and what that looks like. But boy, there's a whole lot of history here that has people worried. But it is something that we have seen a trend emerge with this administration. If you read the Trump National Security document, there is a whole section about the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine saying we are going to reassert dominance in the Western Hemisphere. And that is, I think, something that if I was hearing about this on the campaign trail in 2024, when the president was talking about how Melania wouldn't let him buy bacon because it was too expensive, and you told me that we were doing regime change in Venezuela in the first year of his administration, I'd be very surprised. But from very early on in this White House, he started to signal we were going to get a whole lot more involved.
Yeah. Campaign candidate Donald Trump 2016 on this issue. Take a listen.
Our current strategy of nation building and regime change is a proven absolute failure.
So, we heard that lots of times, Guy. This is different. It's precise. But he's talking about Colombia. He's talking about Cuba. He's signaling to other countries, watch out in what he's saying and what he types on Truth Social.
Yeah, I think that if this turned into some sort of nation-building adventure where there were boots on the ground and that sort of thing, the political terrain would be a lot more perilous.
Although I will say, he said this weekend, I'm not afraid of boots on the ground. I'm not scared of boots on the ground.
He's leaving his options open, as he often does. And if it goes there, I think it's a horse of a different color. For the moment, though, I think a lot of Americans are going to look at what actually happened. They see throngs of Venezuelans cheering, weeping tears of joy at this potential liberation, or at least a chance to go back to a thriving country that was wrecked by this illegitimate regime, a chance to go back to actually some living muscle memory of democracy in that country. That's moving, I think, to the American people. And also just basic military competence on a massive stage and a huge scale, as we saw in Iran last year. That's been missing a little bit in recent years. And to see the military going in and doing exactly what they had to do flawlessly, I think that's inspirational to a lot of Americans.
I mean, it's clearly projecting strength, and the hope is that the peace through strength, much like Ronald Reagan and others went to. The political element of this, Kevin, is interesting. Axios writes it this way, quoting Dems fuming at their party's response. One swing district House Democrat told Axios in a text message Saturday, nuance is dead in politics. Maduro is bad, glad he's gone. You can't have it both ways, the lawmaker said, venting that everything Trump touches must be bad according to the base. Another vulnerable House Democrat told Axios in a phone interview, as Democrats, we just can't condemn what happened. I wish the Democratic Party would be a little bit more measured on this. What about that and the concern about the politics of how talking about it?
Yeah, Brett, I think you're seeing from my party oftentimes an autopilot opposition to anything the president does. I think that's dangerous, especially with us looking down at the midterms. This is a good thing for the American people. This is a good thing for the Venezuelan people. You played those clips before of Senator Schumer calling for Maduro's removal, right? And now he's saying a different tone. I think what we need to say is what John Fetterman said in that clip that you played. This is a good thing. We need to celebrate this. But your questions to Senator Risch, the chairman, what happens next, right? What is the nature of this? Is this a regime change? Well, no. The vice president, who's been in office for 8 years, is now the acting president. Her husband is still the head of the National Assembly. You still have holdovers from the Hugo Chavez regime. So again, there are more questions than answers. There's going to be a full Senate briefing on Wednesday. Of course, then Senator Kaine introduces his War Powers Act on Thursday for debate. So I think Democrats have to needle this thread very carefully.
Yeah. Politics here. Minnesota governor is not running for re-election. Tim Walz says he's not getting in. This fraud scandal is significant, Tasha.
this does give Republicans a lot of ammunition to point to Democratic leadership as problematic, whether you're looking at Minnesota, whether you're looking at things that are happening in the state of California and cities like San Francisco and Chicago. It gives the GOP that ammo for the midterms. I think Tim Walz stepping down is actually a good thing for Democrats in a lot of ways, because he's not the voice that they want out there, but it does pose a challenge.
But from VP nominee to not running for governor, that's quite something.
It's a fall. It is richly deserved. His performance today was characteristically unimpressive. And for the Democrats in Minnesota, this could be addition by subtraction. If they want to hold on to the governor's mansion later on this year, having him as a piñata off the table could benefit the Democrats, actually.
Senator Amy Klobuchar said to be considering that run. We'll see if that happens. Panel, thanks.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.